Off we go! Another 3-mapper, ladies and gentlemen. The Waterbenders against the Firebenders. Yes, we are going full Airbender today. And by the way, we're going for Ang as Airbender, not Korra. Korra sucks. I'm sorry, but that's just not good. Too whiny, too annoying. It's all about Ang and, of course, Taf. The best bender ever. Metal bending for the win. Taf rocks, as we all know. Either way, we got on the left side the Waterbenders, Azerite on Liming, Maka on Vala, Valamar on Malfurion, we got Fury on Johanna, and Dartmok on Diva. And over to the right side of the map, here in Volskaya Foundry, the Firebenders with Funds on Blaze, Winterheart on Sylvanas, Tremor on Garrosh, Carbon on Junkrat, and Caesar Salad on Stukov. So, let's start this off with, again, acknowledging that these are the CCL matches, the exhibition matches, so all of the players get a bit of a chance to just show their skills over here, and this is pretty much just a couple of hype games to put the CCL a little bit more in the spotlight. It's a North American league that's going to pop up soon, TM, where teams will be drafted. So far, the teams haven't been drafted. Through those matches here, the players, especially the lesser known ones, have a chance to present themselves a little bit to the later captains and organizations so that they have a chance of actually making it into the league itself. Now, all of this takes place on the North American server, as mentioned several times, which means that the European players that you will see here have to play with quite the ping disadvantage, which usually idles at around 120 to 140 ping, which forces them to play not really as reactionary as they can on their home server, but a little bit more focused onto the macro level. Been going over this in the past as well, but again, a lot of you guys might have been tuning in here for the first time into one of these CCL matches, so yeah, check it out. Now, as all of this starts up, when it comes to compositions, we got a pretty sexy setup for the blue team here for sure. They got their Vala in play, they have a Li Ming behind it, but there's a ton of displacement already on the other side, and quite a fair amount of CC that the Firebenders put into action here. But Tremor might be the first one to fall, as he gets attacked right away and barely escapes with 40 HP. That was a close call. But generally speaking, the Waterbenders have a well-rounded setup here. We have two frontliners. They have with Diva someone that can create havoc in the opponent's backline, that can also create space for heroes like Vala. Vala as a sustained damage dealer is of course fantastic for them in this setup. Goes for the traditional multi-shot build that we now see here with the level 4 talent coming through. And we have behind all of this Li Ming to fire away with the combos, heading straight into dominance as the level 4 talent, as both of the teams are now picking up the next talent here. And Make actually playing Ovala, so now he has to be a bit careful. Again, the extra ping is going to make it a bit more difficult to play these low HP heroes and damage dealers. We have on Jojo's side the Eternal Retaliation coming in right away as the level 4 choice. So there's already a lot of wave clear that they have too. But it will come down to the question which team has the better position than on the objective. And in terms of survivability, with Garrosh at the front and Blaze behind him, there's also a lot to add for the Firebenders to have in addition to that. Well, first of all, the setup here with Tremor, which might actually lead to Azerite dying, but he gets away and Tremor might fall. But I was about to say, Stukov's silence is of course also going to play a huge role here. For everybody that hasn't really detected a pattern here yet, of course the teams are not named Waterbenders and Firebenders, but it's literally just blue team versus red team. They're going to play 3 maps, no matter how those maps end, no matter the results. So in order to make it a little bit more interesting, we're picking our own team names here. And today is Airbender time. So Fun's also in a bit of trouble over here, but he gets away. But you can tell that the red team is starting to be in trouble. Sylvanas was idling at the top and pushing the lane out, which allows now the camp to put some additional pressure onto the structures. Azerite actually running straight into that as he's trying to rotate topside to deal with all of this. And he shouldn't really be here. I'm actually amazed that he tries again to go the direct path instead of just simply moving through middle and taking the safe way. So he got a bit lucky that he wasn't sniped on the second attempt. But even in the first one, it got a bit dicey. Now, you could make the argument that Maka might have been better suited to take the top lane, simply because he has more wave clear that he can use to take that camp down. But he's busy now here in the middle, gets stunned out. He has the Nature's Cure to save his ass. So far, so good. And they are far ahead, of course, on the objective with 99-0. But they still have to fight for that additional point. Dartmok sliding out here as the rest of the team is looking to grab another turret. And guess what? Li Ming is going to be on her way back in just a second. So he played it a little bit more safe. Top side, we now have both teams still with 0 kills, but that could change now. Jojo could be in a bit of trouble here, but turns it around. Marke comes in, Azerite is there, tries to go for the combo. He has the explosion, zoning them off as much as possible, and it puts Funds into a tricky spot. He retreats, but that also means that the objective will now go over to the blue team. The Waterbenders! Be water, my friend. Coming in with the first protector, and of course now the goal will be to take the top lane, or at least do as much damage as you can. Take down the first one of those fountains and work around that. Now, as the protector gets defended against in the middle, we have at the bot side also a bit more damage coming in, as Fury and Darkmog are both trying to clear the waves here and already push through the wall. If they can make that happen, they could start to target that fountain at the bottom of the map, which would prepare for the third objective. But here at the top side, the defense is obviously pretty good. And, well, Malfurion and Vala can't really wait until that protector is taken down, because they don't really have a lot of escape tools. Vala has her vault, so that's not too bad. But the old geezer with the arthritis is definitely going to have some trouble if he gets popped out of the protector here. But they're saving it for as long as possible, just so that they can use the utility to take these waves down a little bit quicker. At the bottom of the map, one tower is down. The wall is also opened up, so far so good. And a little bit more damage also topside, as Valamar and Marke were nearly able to take Winterhearted down. But have to retreat here again. And Blaze was in the meantime taken in the middle. That's actually the first kill in this game. And it's also level 10. So we have level 10 in play for the Waterbenders, and they are actually dominating over here now. As I said at the beginning, they have a very well-rounded draft, and they are currently playing an extremely solid and disciplined game here. Now we have Blessed Shield in. We also got more of a battle fight sustained through Malfurion's Tranquility. And thanks to them now getting another item and having more control up at the top, they can try and go for that fountain, which they destroy with ease. Jojo gets flipped over by Junkrat for just one moment, but that isn't really of any consequence, since the Firebenders didn't have their heroic abilities yet, so they couldn't really force a fight here. So at this point, let's see what else we're gonna get. We have level 5, the 5 stacks already on the level 4 talent, there we go. Numbers are hard sometimes. And of course, for the opponent's team, they are now trying to also lock in a few additional items. They've lost multiple of those healing beacons already, which can be a bit of an issue, but we haven't really seen too many heroes die yet, so this is still fine. The objective at the top usually spawns around level 13, this is when most of these fights start happening, and the Firebenders aren't really too far behind here, so they still have all their chances to make it. And we also have a couple of them really close to completing their quest talents. We have 14 stacks for Blaze on the new habits for his unstoppable frames, and we also see Garrosh with 14 on his level 1. So both of them are incredibly close to completing them and getting the quest reward here. Marke at the top is helping to take the camp down as quickly as he can, and Azerite follows up with another volley. A bit of a fight down here at the bottom between the two offlaners. That shouldn't really result in any big trouble, even with the boxing in that we just saw. At the top, on the other hand, that's a problem. Tremor is down. Malfurion with his ult saves the rest of the team. And with the help of the minion wave, they can now push this in even further. Fury gets hit though, and he goes down, and he did not drop the item. Did not drop the item here. Big mistake by Fury. That was a bit unfortunate. So yeah, first they get the kill against Garrosh, things are looking good, and then it's pretty much just a Junkrat play that catapults Jojo over. Fury for just a moment not paying attention, goes down, doesn't use the healing beacon before he dies, and that drops an item into the hands of the Firebenders. Nicely done by them. And that kind of brings them a little bit closer to level 13 too, which is of course important now that we're heading into objective number 2 on the map. With talent already in the midst. We now have on level 13 the Holy Fury. We also got the Illusionist taken, and for D.Va, the Good to Go. And she's currently good to go at the bottom of the map, but she's still going up against Funds. So Darkmog playing this out and dropping the ult here a couple of times. Now Funds is trying to heal himself up. Darkmog still has the advantage, but there's the level 13 talent, and that is now an opportunity for the red team to slowly fight back at the top, where we will see a 4 versus 4 battle any moment. The fort, by the way, really low, so this is not going to last very long, especially if the protector is now also taken by the waterbenders. That's the next thing. And off we go. Right here, a lot of damage from Junkrat and his grenades from the back. 26,000 damage, by the way, on D.Va. Both of the offlaners have now joined the fight at the top. 18,000 for our little junkie here. But the progress goes towards the blue team. They're still controlling this. And the Firebenders are kind of forced to make a bit of a play here because they're still a level behind. And this might not be a problem for this particular battle. But if they lose the Protector, the second one, then the air is getting quite thin here. Objective 3 might then already decide the fate of the game. That was a very cool setup against D.Va. The problem is that Garrosh also was very far out there in order to make those plays. And he is dead. Winterheart is barely escaping. But here comes Junkrat taking the kill. Darkmog is down, but the Protector is taken. A 1-for-1 trade. But the objective is claimed by the Waterbenders once again, and they are starting to go for it. Top 4 has no chance, obviously. An easy rotation into the middle would yield a second fort. The wall is already opened up. The fort itself rather low. At the bottom of the map, the fountain is eliminated, so there's no need to rush here either. But they're still making that rotation. They leave the one in the middle alone. Normally you don't focus too much on the middle. You take it if you can, but it's not really a high priority because in a normal game you will end either through the top or the bottom. On this map it's mostly the bot lane that you're focusing on, since this is the one where the third objective, which is kind of the first one that is strong enough to allow you to go for keep and core, is spawning. But they still take the fort here. It's a bit of a defense setup, or an attempt at least. Azerite is also low and goes down. Very nice coordinated attack by the Firebenders. They get the snipe. Now they just have to make sure that they can get out here. And Junkrat once again doing fairly well, making sure that Sylvanas has no problems here. Carbon with a couple of pretty good moves actually throughout the game so far. Really making good use of the displacement that he has in his arsenal. Now we have the level 16 talents, and with level 16 we have already the Moonlit Harmony right here. We get the Mirror Ball and Vala, of course, with Manticore. Manticore, absolute standard talent for Vala on 16. Once that you have your Farfly Quiver on 20, you have a very safe distance to the opponent and can pressure especially the opponent's front line to an incredible extent. Manticore is just a tank killer and is incredible if you have the safety distance as well. But both of the teams have a level 16, and that also makes the life of Sylvanas a bit easier, since she has now her own unstoppable frames. That was a really nice trap on the other hand. And yeah, Garrosh is dead once again, and he's not going to be the only one, is he? They're going to go for Junkrat, and he's dead too. He just got devoured hard, and now we have Funds in trouble, but he at least is going to be able... Oh, actually? Oh, kind of looked close. He had another 500 hit points, but still, he took a bit of a beating there towards the end. For just a moment, I thought they might be able to take him down too. Not so much. Down at the bottom of the map now, there's Darkmo coming in. Winterheart is getting pushed back here once again as he's trying to defend. And Carbon is now moving up to the top. So Junkrat is starting to push not only the wave out, or he can, but he's actually double checking if someone is trying to take the camp, which isn't really the case. Everybody else is instead at the bottom of the map, aiming for fort number 3. And that's exactly the one that they're taking here as we speak. 5 kills to 3. Damage output, 37,000 for D.Va. We get 29,000 for Junkrat. The problem is more or less... Oh, Winterheart, careful. Yeah, if... Exactly because of that. You might try to make the plays here, but that doesn't always work out that way, especially if Jojo also had the blessed shield. You need to be careful. It's of course tempting to jump around with Sylvanas like this, but they are YOLOing in way too hard into this fight. That's the second one down as Blaze dies, and now they're making another play for Garrosh. And here comes actually Liming with an easy kill. Gets taken down too though. It's a 3-for-1 trade, so I'll take that any day, and they can open up the wall as well. But that's already 1.5 level lead that they now own, and they have a massive advantage, of course, once that we're heading into objective number 3. They can even start to damage the keep itself. Nice pressure play back here against Darkmog. Might actually end with him falling. The problem is, while they chase D.Va, the rest of the team is simply going for keep. And yeah, Darkmog is buying as much time as he can, and the keep is down. The objective is up, and Darkmog even survives. Oh, just adding insult to injury over here. That just hurts. Here comes the blessed shield. Can't stop, won't stop, baby. And another kill. That hurts my soul right here. Oh god. So actually, let's take another look at the opening kills that we saw. So this was the one against Blaze that led to this insane push to the bottom of the map. And then they could isolate Garrosh and follow up with another kill. So fantastic discipline here from the Waterbenders, and it really pays off the way they're playing this out. We have, with level 20, as already predicted, the Farflight Quiver in, the upgrade with the timing attack on D.Va, who now holds the position at the bottom of the map. And it's looking fantastic. Repulsion is through, so there's even more playmaker potential for Li Ming now. And thanks to the Storm talents, it's nearly impossible for the Firebenders to fight for this. The problem for the Firebenders is honestly that they won't be able to even soak 20 for the defense. So they now have to face the music at the bottom of the map with no chance of getting a Storm talent, either for an attack on the objective or a defense on the core. So no matter what they do, they will find themselves in a pretty uncomfortable position. And right now, it honestly just seems like they are hoping to gain some items here. Maybe get some push going at the top, get some structural damage, just in case that they are able to defend their core, so that they can, from then on out, play the game with at least the top lane not being that big of an issue. But they really need to head back, and they haven't even taken the item here. So that's another one. And it's actually starting to get pretty tricky here. With 20 versus 19, it's gonna get rough. There's a 20 coming in for Jojo as well. And they are already pushing those waves out as the Protector is now slowly coming in. And off we go. There's the Blessed Shield. And goodbye Garrosh. And not even the bunker did do anything about it. This is looking really bad. Sylvanas with that on the run. And he's dead too. The double kill. Funz has no bunker left. They're chasing him too. Gladiator's medallion is used, but of course he's dead. That's 3 eliminated, and there's just no doubt anymore that game number 1 is going to end in favor of the Waterbenders. They're going full Bruce Lee over here. Be Water, my friend. 12 kills to 4. The core falls easily. Yeah, and that's the lead in this series at the CCL exhibition match. Nicely done and well played by the Waterbenders, as we are heading into the second game of this series. Nicely done as the blue team locks in the W. Towers of Doom, everybody. Yeah, the Waterbenders are at it again. Up against the Firebenders here today. The Fire Nation was trying to be aggressive on game number 1. Didn't really work out. The Waterbenders a little bit too disciplined and showed them what's what pretty easily. As of right now in game number 2, on Cassia, we got Darkmok on D.Va, Valamar on Brightwing, Fury on Tyrael, and Make on Junkrat. And on the right side of the map, the Firebenders with Funz on Urel. We got Caesar Salad on Karazim, Winterheart on Chromie, Carbon this time on Maiev, and Tremor on Imperius. Interesting setup. That's a bit melee heavy that what they currently have here. I'm not quite sure if I'm really a fan of what they are running at this point. This is a really aggressive setup where they are trying to dive in with all their front line, and Chromie has then the damage from the back line. Yeah, trying to get the jump on Darkmok over here, who already saw this more or less coming and is just pushing his way out. I'm not quite sure if the red team has a chance with this setup. If you run a combo like this, you need to really start to dominate early. You need to take control of the game, and then you need to be the one to just show the initiative and really set the pace of it. If you ever fall behind at any point with this, then you have a big problem coming back. Because you only can go for full commitments. There's no real poke that you have. You have a single hero that is ranged and that has a chance to poke from afar. Everybody else has to make a full commitment into a team fight. So that makes it incredibly difficult to just sit tight and come back slowly. And they are already starting to lose heroes. Karazim is gone. Cassia, of course, is going to be an absolute nightmare for them later on. The blind alone can be so tricky. And let's not forget that in addition to this, we also have Tyrael, who can drop the Sanctification in a big team fight later on and make sure that this melee-heavy combo is having trouble. And that's not the only thing. I mean, Cassia is not only going to be fantastic just on the damage output side and with the potential Ball of Lightning then later on when it comes to one of those clustered up fights, but she should have a very easy time getting stacks in on the level 1, just because everybody will cluster during those team fights quite a bit. So it's gonna be an interesting one. I don't really know if the Firebenders thought that setup through. But as I said, if they have the momentum, then they can always carry it. And this is a map where momentum means everything, but time will tell. For now, I'm a bit skeptical if that draft can be successful here. Fury already moving out. He's going to be on Tyrell for this game, as mentioned earlier. We have our level 4 talents now ready, and that gives us the Plate of the Whale. And the poke is there. Tremor in a bit of trouble. Fury is trying to follow. Right wing comes in too, and that's a second kill for the blue team. Who knew that waterbenders are this bloodthirsty? Kind of insane. Oh, there we go. That's a firebender I've ever seen one. Nicely done. Karazim going for the counter kill and punishing the cheeky Aussie over here. I like it. 2 kills against 1 still, but off we go. That's at least a little bit of action that we're seeing. So they're not just rolling over and dying in this game, but they still have some fight left in them. Now that we have level 7 for Chromie, can already play around this. First of all, for her, we got the Time Walker's Pursuit, we got the Undoral Anomaly, and the proper Greeting. Yay! Someone's happy, and off we go. 15 stacks already for Azerite. Kasia is doing well so far. Triple Altar phase is incoming, and off we go. Top left, top right. Obviously going to be exchange between the two teams here. Nothing too crazy. And let's see what's going to happen at the bottom of the map. Seems like Winterharder might actually get a freebie here. Ooh! Yep, and he does. Fury is a bit too late, and that's an easy 2 for 1. Little bit anticlimactic, if you ask me. I mean, he just simply sat there and was like, guys, if you don't take care of it, I'll channel that thing through. I have no problem with that. That's exactly what we saw here. But now, here we go. We have a slight lead for the Firebenders. And at this point, the attack against Cassia. Azerite has 19 stacks. Level 7 talents, soon gonna be in. Up top side, we have Urel jumping out already as the level 7 talents are already at the bottom of the map, but there's the follow-up again. And a good move from Karazim. There's the aggression. That's exactly what I mentioned earlier. You need to be aggressive, you need to follow up on these, you need to commit, and that's what they do. Still only on even footing with the opponent. It's not like they took a big lead or anything. A little bit ahead on the objective, granted. They have the additional 4 shots that they were able to fire. But can they follow up on this after level 10? That's the bigger question. And Darkmook seems to really enjoy the D.Va plays. And, well, the last rework has definitely brought D.Va back into the game. Gazlo is sitting somewhere in the corner and looking with a sad face at all of those drafts because he's just not part of the game at this point. Rework hasn't really done anything for him. He's not part of the competitive scene in any way, shape or form, so a little bit unhappy here, but at least D.Va gets to see a bit of action. And with this, we have our setup down at the bottom of the map this time, as the pumpkins are ready on both sides. Off we go, Fury in, there's the tether, as Maiev comes through, and Caesar Salad, he is just jumping in every chance he gets, trying to be aggressive, trying to get another kill, and is so far doing a very, very good job on this. I'm also curious what happens once that we have level 10 abilities, because that is going to change the entire dynamic of the game, especially, of course, with Sanctification as an ult on the side of Tyrael. There's Funds already with the channel, top left, same thing happening through D.Va. The even exchange as only 2 altars are up on the map, and at the bottom still slight pressure from the Firebenders as they are trying to keep this up. So, jump is already in. And off we go. Fury is coming through too. They're trying to be a little bit more aggressive before level 10 as Darkmook joined it. So it's a 5 versus 4 for a couple of seconds. Urel still sits in the middle and is trying to get the experience here. And forces now also Darkmook, of course, to rotate back up. So Darkmook bought himself a little bit of time by clearing the waves earlier, could then move to the bottom, was hoping to get a kill with the rest of his team. Quick 5 versus 4 and see what he can pull off. But then, once that fails, he needs to go back on those lanes or they are losing out on lane experience, which he can't really afford here. Now level 10 is now ready, which gives us a 7-sided strike. Oh, and the kill in the middle. Junkrat gets caught again. Second time that he goes down. We have Brightwing with the blink heal, so that's not only great for healing, it's also good for repositioning. We're a little bit more mobile in that. Ooh, good stun too. And is Caesar Salad? I mean, honestly, dude's crushing. He's really getting the damage numbers up, and he's currently sitting at 7,800, which just on raw numbers is not that crazy, but he's the one to deliver pretty much all the kills to the team, which is kind of cool. So they are still fighting this one out. Next 2 altars are going to be at the bottom of the map in the middle. and now we should see a much more interesting fight, especially since we also have, as already highlighted, Tyrael with a Sanctification. And once the commitment comes with a 7-sided or whatever, then he can really be the difference between win or loss in the team fights. The Ball of Lightning, as also mentioned, will come through. This is not really a game when you want to go into Valkyrie. You're really looking for that, for those bounces. As I mentioned, red team has to commit, a lot of melee. It's a perfect setup here. So with this, we have at the bottom quite the showdown. But here's the channel. Caesar Salad is going to get this one through easy peasy. And Make down here is also able to channel the altar. Both teams walk away totally happy to just get simply 4 shots connected. Which isn't always the case here. Quite often you'll see the teams fight for both. But at least in this situation, both of them are totally happy to just let the slide. So like, okay, we're going to fight this out later. Cassia, now that we're 7.5 minutes into the game, has 33 stacks towards the level 1, so is slowly starting to build up some additional damage for the mid and late game. But it's also a question of when exactly Carbon is jumping in to try and force another fight here. I mean, it's Maiev who can really just try and force the engage here together with Tremor, who is looking for that lunge and that stun connect. We have our offlaner still rotating between the middle and the top lane to get the additional experience for the team and maybe even push some of these structures in. But everything else is just a 4-man versus 4-man at the bottom of the map. Tremor missing this one. Urel jumped in to help out a little bit. 7-sided, there it is. Tyrael is around. Sofa hasn't committed to the Sanct yet. It does, and it's maybe a little bit late. Doesn't do enough. Carbon uses the Vault of the Warden to get away from the Riptire. Make definitely fighting not only the opponent, but also the ping here. But especially... Oh, there's another kill. That's the 3rd time that Make falls. This is really not his game this early. 4 kills to 2 right now, and they're looking for more. They're trying to go for another one. Can they get Azerite? Not quite. And here's the disc on the explosion. I can't help myself. I still think that's kind of fucked up. Like, I don't know, but every time I see that, it feels weird. It just feels off. I don't know what you think about that, but it's just a bit of a strange look. I mean, we can take another one at it. So here comes the fight, and honestly, I already thought that we would have a kill against Cassia. That didn't happen. And then you just have this little setup with a disc that stops the explosion and prevents worse things from happening. CSL gets interrupted now down at the bottom of the map in the first channel. Tries another one. They're going deep for the interrupt, and they have to really commit here, and Sanctification is on cooldown. Not something they can use right now, but Urel is also in a bit of trouble. Tyrael is low. Nobody's going for the channel as we speak, but they are still controlling the space here. The red team is definitely trying to get ahead on the objective a little bit further, but Make can poke with Junkrat's grenades, and is making it difficult for the opponent. Yeah, again, with the level 13, as you can see, we got the Holy Ground, so Tyrael is using it as much as he can to zone and cordon the opponent off. But now he himself is a bit of trouble. Caesar Salad is also low, but so is Dartmoor. Everybody is starting to fall here. There's the Riptires. They're making the play for Urel, and the Space Goat is down. Maiev is trying to go for a kill against Diva. Doesn't get that one, but instead Maiev goes down to... The ragdoll over here in the slowing sands. Oh, just flying around there a little bit, hovering above the ground. Those 2 kills definitely hurt, and that's of course an additional 4 shots fired against the red team and the access to the pumpkin camp. 55 stacks by now for Cassia. As I said, in those team fights we will see her having a lot more success in stacking, just simply because the fights are so clustered. So we have 33,000 now, the top damage for Cassia. She's the top dog in the game, not only on the team side. Doesn't really come as a surprise that for the Firebenders we have actually Chromie on the top numbers over here. So Chromie with 27k. But now that the bot lane is slowly but steadily controlled by the blue team, thanks to those pumpkin camps, they are hoping to open up the bottom wall a little bit and put pressure onto the keep itself. Now, keep in mind, the Firebenders are still slightly ahead in experience, but with all the momentum that has been building for the Waterbenders through the last fight, Darkwood was able to get the camp at the top now too, so that's kind of neat for him. Bottom of the map, here's the engage, 7-sided strike, didn't really hit a whole lot because Fury jumped out with Tyrael. Now in the middle of the map, I mean, Carbon isn't really gonna get anything done against 2, but you can see that things are starting to become a little bit more spicy. 4 kills to 4, and in addition to that, we are looking at level 16 talents, which we should get any second right now. So here comes the triple altar phase. And by now, we have the triple cleanse ready. So he actually went into the cleansing touch. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit weirded out by this. I was pretty much 100% certain that he would go into the additional damage. The way that he's been playing, how aggressive he was the entire time, it's a little bit weird to me to see that talent come in. Didn't expect that against such a composition. Don't really think that you need that here. But as it stands, we still have the top left, top right exchange and bell towers, and now the fight at the bottom of the map over number 3. And D.Va is a bit faster, so she channeled earlier at the top left, can now join the fight and turn this into a 5 versus 4. The numeric advantage is there, and here comes the zone out. The disc once again being used to slow this down, and the poke from Chromie to interrupt any potential grab on the altar itself. 5 versus 5 right now, as the two teams are starting to make their play. 7-sided is coming in, Fury, and oh, there's Sanctification in the last moment. Nicely done, Urel in trouble. Oh my god, the ult barely used, gets healed by Caesar Salad, but Urel, the space coach, she gets away. You gotta be kidding me. Tyrael is down, goes for the explosion vault of the Wardens, and there's the kill. Oh my god, what a fight! Beautiful setup here by the Firebenders. Look at those sexy plays right there. They are able to help Urel escape, and then we see the kills come in against Tyrael. The explosion is dodged. The follow-up kill against Brightwing. The mech is getting dropped, and now they have an open bot lane that they can use to not only get the altar channeled, which already happened, but to make a play for the bell tower. Carbon low, but he's able to get a follow-up kill on Cassia. That's incredible. What an amount of momentum right now. Yeah, Karazim, this time he finally falls, but still, hashtag worth it. You control the bell tower at the bottom of the map. They have a big lead in experience now. And also, of course, they have map control. That was a pretty sexy one. I actually did not expect it to go this well for them. They had a pretty good coordination in the last team fight, but boy was it close at times. Urel, there were several moments where it looked like she would fall for sure, and other heroes too, but the blue team, they just couldn't seal the deal. And then there was an opportunity for the Firebenders. They turned it, got the kills, and now they're looking pretty fantastic. So, looking for other kills up at the top. Carbon is jumping out again. Yeah, slowing sands. Darkmork in range of the tower is in trouble. Has to dash away here and is getting some shots in, or tries to, against Urel. Junkrat has already started to take to the bot lane to retake the bell tower. And that's of course a bit of a problem for the Firebenders. They miss out on bell tower control now because they didn't get a kill in the middle, so they couldn't capitalize on the numeric advantage. The steal attempt! Fury got murdered by... Oh, that just feels bad. He jumps in to steal the camp away with a holy ground, and it doesn't work out. He gets denied, gets locked in place, and then they take him down. Oh, that backfired quickly. Really well done by the Firebenders. A bit unfortunate for Fury here, but then at the same time, that was a really nice play. 4 shots fired, thanks to the channel, but of course, with the tank gone, this also means that bot lane control is fully in the hands of the Firebenders again. That kind of sucks a bit for the blue team. Really well done by the red team, but let's be honest here. The blue team was just basically back in team fighting position where they could have tried to go for a fight, and they took control over the bottom bell tower. And now we have instead the red team taking an advantage of the numbers that they have, going for the bell tower at the bottom of the map, going straight for the boss, getting another 4 shots connected. They have level 20 on the board too, and it's just incredible. They're looking great here. They're dropping them down into the single digits now. 8 points against 20. Respect. This is not an easy draft to play. And as I highlighted at the beginning, if you fall behind, you are in trouble. And so far, they've done fairly well. They struggle a bit in the real early situation of the game, but after that, they played very well around the CC, and it's working out for them. Now, the game isn't over yet, and once level 20 is there, it could of course change again, once that we are on even talents. Let's not forget that Cassia has 83 stacks right now, so that's quite a lot. She's really looking at solid damage numbers. Is still on top damage in this game with 54,000 here. But let's see what the Waterbenders can pull off now. They have still control over the bottom of the map. They're going for the team fight here. Fury, so far he didn't have to commit to his ult. Might have to do that soon. Level 20 talents are, of course, now in for both teams. Here comes the Sanctification. They're trying to make the play for Urel. And the Ball of Lightning is still bouncing. And they're trying to drive a bit of a wedge between the opponent's team, which has so far been successful. But of course, with only 8 points on the board, they are pretty much backed into a corner here. And a lot of ults have already been exchanged. Here comes the control again through Chromie with the slowing sands. They're trying to make the play for Azerite, who's still looking for poke. Fury is low and survives, at least for now. Channel at the bottom of the map. Muck is trying to go for it. Funds then again. Polymorphed and dead. That's the kill against Urel, but the choke control! Oh my god, what a nice cleanse move over here. The Unstoppable Frame saving the target. Winterharder barely surviving with roughly 100 HP. What a slaughter here. And 4 shots fired, boom, as we had Karazim going for the middle. We have a staggered death though. Chromie died. And of course, 4 points against 16 doesn't really guarantee you a win yet. Especially since now is the time for the Waterbenders to take more control over the map. And they're trying to. Look at the stacks on Cassia. She's really capitalizing now on these team fights. 99 stacks for her. But can she get those damage numbers out? We have the moves to the bottom of the map in an attempt to control the map now. So they take the first bell tower here. The only question is, can they get more? They have a couple of pumpkins coming in. Do they try to get additional bell towers? What's the play here? Darkwalk is sitting topside. He needs to be careful too. 7-sided. Brightwing comes in, helps out. And Junkrat ensures that those pumpkins connect. That's 3 shots fired, and that puts them down to 13. Another couple of pumpkins are now moving through the bottom, but this is, of course, not over by any means. If you're down to single digits and only 4 points, a simple boss move later can make the game. And that's another 2 minutes out before we have that back up on the map. Darkmook is still trying to pressure the top a little bit. And you can tell that the blue team is approaching this a little bit differently. Now that they have the control over the bottom of the map, they're trying to hold on to it. The red team had it several times, and they didn't really defend the bottom bell tower. There were always other things that they prioritized a little bit higher. But here's an approach by the Waterbenders that just simply signals, hey, we want to control the bottom of the map. As long as we have that extra bell tower, you can't end the game with a single altar. But they have to be really careful. If Maiev comes in with a really good tether, that could already be the end of it. So now we have a bottom bell tower, a bottom altar that comes in. Oh, are they going to go for Darkmook? Oh, the medallion, Darkmook, and he goes down. Wow. That was a pretty aggressive rotation by him, very far forward. He gets punished for it, and that might just have been the move that loses them the game. They had a chance to come back into this, but this is going to be an uphill battle from here on out. 5 versus 4 this late in the game. Good luck, ladies. There's a 7-sided. That didn't really connect properly, but there's a bell tower on an altar up. If they channel it, it's only going to be 1 point on the core. They won't be able to finish it right now unless they retake. But still, this is a tricky one. Cassia is also a bit exposed, needs to be careful. Funz still has his ult, didn't use it yet, and they're trying to buy time. D.Va's gonna come back sooner rather than later. 20 more seconds until we have the 5th hero back in play. Tyrael is jumping in. Cassia with the kill attempt. Junkrat is dead, and so is Cassia. And this is not looking pretty at all. With 3 heroes down, they don't even have to channel. They could try and retake the bell tower instead and then go for a delayed channel on the altar to end the game. Staggered deaths is the worst thing that can happen to you this late in the game, and this is exactly what we're seeing here. Brightwing trying to jump away, Blink heals up on one of the minions, but Caesar Salad is just following up, trying to go for another kill. 60,000 damage on Chromie. Tyrael is still playing us out. Yeah, we got D.Va back to business, but as mentioned, they're trying to reclaim the bell tower, and they're going to get this one easily, which means that with 4 shots left, they would win the game, channeling the altar at the bottom of the map, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Junkrat missing, Cassia missing, damage dealers are just not here. They're trying to go for the kill against Winterheart if they can get that. Oh, there's Chromie down. They actually hold on to the game a little bit longer. It's still a 4 versus 3, and there's so much momentum now for the Firebenders. They're trying to follow this up. Fountain is up. Do they have the cooldown? That's a question. Fury! Nah, he goes down too. Tries for the explosion, but there it is. The jump, the Vault of the Wardens. Another interrupt. Junkrat is back. Cassia is back. Oh, the interrupt again! Tremor is on the channel. They're trying to come in, and they do, but Darkmook Here come the remaining heroes. Brightwing is low. Darkmook is dead. And here comes Karazim. Going full Bruce Lee on the Fruit Fly. Can he get the kill? He's close. Oh, what a game! What a finish! What a finish to this one. 4 versus 3 again. The fight that never ends. Junkrat is dead again. It's pretty much what happened throughout the entire game. He died 5 times. They go again for the final 2 heroes on the board. And bam! The Space Goat with the double jump. Hoofs first. And that is it. 4 shots fired. And that is game. The Firebenders. Nicely done. 17 kills to 8. And they make a very tricky draft work. Very well played by them. GG. Game number 3. The series is tied. The Waterbenders against the Firebenders. Our CCL match over here is continuing. And on the left side here in Infernal Shrines, we got Azerite on Orphea, Fury on Garrosh, Make on Junkrat for the 2nd time after he pretty much got his ass kicked on the last map. We got Darkmook on Leo and Valamar on Stukov. And on the right side of the map, the Firebenders with Tremor on Mei, Winterheart on Hanzo, Funz on Sonya, the Caesar Salad on Lucio, and Carbon is playing Tychus. Yeah, let's rock. We are good to go. Guys, as usual, if you want to support the channel and the coverage here in esports, you can check out patreon.com/Khaldor. Support is very much appreciated, and with that, I also want to thank everybody that already supports the channel and helps me to keep the esports coverage here live, helps me to improve the stream, the video, the audio quality, and also introduce additional features like the instant replay system and other things. So a big thank you to everybody that already supports the channel over here, and if you're interested, you can always check that out, patreon.com/Khaldor. So yeah, thanks a lot to all the supporters there. Yeah, for our game over here, what we are now going to see is a bit of a... I think this is the first one where we go on the 3rd map to decide who wins the series, don't we? So it's actually kind of interesting. Tychus coming in on Carbon's side. I'm pretty happy that this is going to be decided on the 3rd map. But as I said, this wasn't easy to play on the last map by the Firebenders. That was a tricky one. Even though the Waterbenders definitely made a few mistakes, notably the rotation from Darkmook a bit too far out there. He fell right into the trap in the bush that led to this 4 versus fight start into this big battle at the bottom of the map, then finally decided the game itself too. So, well, as all of this comes through, we have on level 1 now also the Consume Vitality, so no Awesom's Renewal or any of those shenanigans. Body check is in as well. And for Mei, it is the Heat Transfer. Okay, bot side of the map, Junkrat and his boys. Junkrat obviously on this map also really strong. If you're playing with Towers of Doom, you're looking towards the displacement. You want to have interrupts against channel attempts. If you're playing it here, displacement is once more key. But in addition to that, you also have a chance to sit outside of a shrine and simply get those grenades going. And that AoE will help you to slowly get points towards the objective without exposing yourself to too much danger. So Make will have to play around the low hit point pool again. Ping, as I said, for the European players is a bit of a tricky one, but still. Over here, Azerite is already hitting the grenade to the face. That's that. So he's down. That was an easy one to eliminate him. And with this, we have Indomitable now on level 4. We have both of the teams coming straight in with the level 4 talents, which now gives us the Crystallize. Sonya, careful, baby. Needs to be a little bit cautious over here. And off we go. Tremor sitting tight. I'm a little bit curious to see how especially Lucio is gonna work out for them in the long run. Lucio can be quite strong, but a lot of his power really relies on the level 10 ability. If you don't get a good ult through in those team fights, then you are gonna be in quite a bit of trouble here. Also, we've seen this from quite some of the North American players recently, that they actually like to go into In the Rhythm. It's not really something that is very popular on the European side. It's more about the bigger they are here. Doesn't mean that you can occasionally experiment with that, but it's just a burst attempt. The plays that normally happen on the European server are way more on-point target to follow up CC and then get quick kills in. Then of course if you lead then with the bigger they are, you can easily follow up on the damage to get the target then to 0-8 points. That's what we normally see there. But we have seen this actually in one of the exposition matches here just a bit ago. So had some decent stacks coming out. wanna, in the same vein, also quickly highlight that, of course, in some of these games that we're seeing, people are also just still experimenting. Good kill against Garrosh here. Not so much in this series, but we had a couple of Illidan frontline plays in other matches that ended with a 3-0 at the end of the day. So just so that everybody understands, this is not necessarily the meta that will be reflected once the actual league starts. So in games like this, you also play a bit for the audience. That's why we have certain picks, mainly picking Zagara in the third game. And these are obviously not real best of 3, best of 5 series. These are 3 maps that are played, no matter the results, which means that oftentimes on the third map you already know which team is, so to say, the winner. It's more so about giving players a chance to show their skills a little bit. And it goes more so for the B-tier players. If you are someone that played in HGC in the past, then of course you don't really need that exposure. People already know who you are. But at this point, we have level 7, the first easy pick on the Punisher by the Firebenders, because Garrosh died early in that last fight. Good bait over the wall, though, as they approach in the attempt to take this down as quickly as they can. And, well, let's see what they can pull off here. 2 kills against 0 is already looking good. We have all the way up to the top. Fun's still playing that 1 versus 1 against Darkmork. There's the swing, looking for the drain. But missing it. But yeah, you always want to swing first and get the skeleton swing in so that you slow the target. Makes it a bit easier to connect the drain too. In this case, it didn't work out. Sonya obviously attempting to juke around it. That's something that you definitely need to watch out for a bit. Okay, so experience is still the same right now. We have at the top our 1 versus 1. These two will rotate between the lanes to take the experience. And the 4-man is going to try to put the pressure onto the bot lane, take the camps as much as they can, and just take the setup here. So with that in mind, we already have the camp claimed, but maybe even a little bit more than only the camp. They're trying to go for a kill against Mei. Not really the easiest hero to take down, especially when the trade is still active. So if you can go for your trade, then it's pretty tricky to take her down, especially, of course, with the level 4 choice on the talent too. Now we have still roughly a level for both of the teams until they hit their level 10, but that's when we're going to see the real party start. Now up at the top, Darkmork has, of course, a bit of a wave clear advantage over Sonya. Can do a whole lot of work here, especially after he picks up his level 4 talent. I mean, Neil Peasant is just insane if you're this wave clear machine that rotates between the lanes here. And Darkmork in particular is going to be the one that will later try to initiate the battles for them. So it's already fantastic when you have Entomb, but once that you pick up your Buried Alive, you are, of course, the one hero to really watch out for. And there we have Entomb picked up right away. You can combo it off also with the Crushing Jaws over there, which is pretty neat too. You have Stukov, who can lock the target down after his level 13 choice, Violent Reaction, a little bit more as well. And those are just a couple of picks that are usually pretty mandatory. You want to make sure that you get your Entomb through, you want to make sure that you have a Violent Reaction follow-up, and then all the damage dealers can just be on point with their plays here. Now, it's kind of interesting to see that we actually have an Ice Wall. So the only real times when we've seen Ice Wall on the European side was when Avalanche was banned out, which is not the case here. So could have been picked, but instead we get the Ice Wall. Let's see how much they can do with that. Mei is a hero that has, especially when she was introduced, pretty much dominated a lot of the drafts, has fallen off a little bit. Not really in the sense that she's useless or anything, but she's not as much of a priority pick anymore as she was previously. Can still be very, very strong, offers a lot of CC, very annoying hero to deal with too. And Avalanche in particular can also set up kills if you just slide through. It's pretty much an ETC combo with a Haymaker, so to say. ETC with a Haymaker as an ult is probably what comes the closest. It's not quite comparable, but yeah, it's roughly it. Either way, pretty annoying tank to go up against, pretty tricky to kill oftentimes, adds a lot of CC to the mix too, and can on these shrine fights really be annoying and control the space here. And that's what we're gonna observe now again, since shrine number 2 is up. Also, Tychus plays a huge role here. After you gain roughly 20 points towards the objective with his Commandeer Odin, he can make some plays. They're trying to go for Sonya. Nice attempt initially, but she actually moved away from the Entomb pretty quickly. Was able to escape. He has a little bit more lockdown, but there's no level 13 yet for Stukov, so he can't use the Violent Reaction to lock anybody down. And there comes the Sharp as they're trying to push everybody out of the way, locking in a few more points towards the objective here. Here comes all that wave clear that Darkmork in particular needs to now put to the test so that he can give his team the lead. But it's actually the Firebenders that are taking a slight advantage. Fun's, on the other hand, is low. Good arrow from Winterheart. connecting with 3 and slowing them down a little bit further. And it's time for Odin to shine in just a few moments. There it is, 23 stacks in, and Carbon hits the R button and is trying to dominate the space now to give his team the chance to push through the bot lane with another Punisher. Big move here on the Entomb though. Can they get the kill? Do they have the damage? Doesn't seem like it. They're getting some damage in, but it's not enough, and they're falling behind farther and farther the objective. But there's kill number 1 and kill number 2. Sonya down. Stukov is still in play. We have... Fia! Fia is toast. But they try to go for the counter kill against Tremor. Frozen Punisher taken by the blue team. The Waterbenders have not given up on this yet. Thanks to Mei, Fury had to slow down. Now they have to, of course, bait over the wall, but that's going to be a very, very tricky defense. You can already see that Fury, he is just moving in. He's just saying, I don't give a shit. I'm just going for it right now. You have nothing. There's no damage dealers here right now. You got nothing. So they are pushing them past the fort. Easy peasy. Here come the level 13 talents. That's the Virulent reaction. We also get the Blood Trace, and they are making the play for the fort. And guys, we have actually Leo topside. These are only 3 heroes. The arrow connects with the back, misses out on Stukov, but hits Marker. There's the ice wall. That didn't really do a whole lot, but they will still be... Well, yeah, they still take Stukov down. Can they get a bit more? They're trying to. Fury is low. Azerite gets out, and there's another Riptire to save Fury, who goes for the flip and makes the play for Sonya, but Funds gets away, and everybody else is also rushing out. What a setup again. Awesome. Pretty fun. But let's take a quick look at that fight again. So over here, this is when all of it went down. First, Tychus is eliminated. They get the kill there. And then they're making an additional play for Sonya, who also falls. And talking Sonya, she's in trouble here for just a moment too, as you could see on the live screen. Darkmog was trying to go for the solo kill with an Entomb, but Funds got the help of Lucio, and therefore Leo had to rotate out. Either way, looking at the damage numbers now, 26,000 for Ophia, looking pretty good for her. We got Hanzo as the top damage dealer for the red team, sitting at 21k. But the bot lane is again dominated by the blue team. Once more, they take the additional 3rd camp and get that. And let's see if they can do a little bit more here with maybe forcing another fight. There's already an attempt to do that, but Tremor slides out on Mei. Red team is still ahead in kills. They're still ahead in kills, but of course the loss of the fort at the bottom of the map hurts them a little bit. And losing out on all of these mercenary camps over and over again is also a bit of a problem. As you can see, the mercenary experience is currently doubled by the Waterbenders. And they're trying to go for the kill. They flip the taunt, and boom! Sonya is down. Yeah, mom spaghetti, baby. That's already another kill, and that's a 5 versus 4 on the map. And since the mid lane is open, they're trying to make the play now. They have a Khaldor camp behind them that they can use to get extra damage onto the fort. Might not necessarily be able to take it down, but even if they don't, that's a lot of free damage that they're able to get in. So that was pretty solid. And Leo is, of course, up at the top, still doing more work, and opens up another opportunity for later on in the game to take down the fort topside. And it's not only about the forts. I mean, you're trying to eliminate these fountains too. So in the middle of the map, there's no fountain left. Bottom of the map, no fountain, no fort. Which means that once the next objective spawns, which is going to be in the middle of the map here, there's only one fallback option for the Firebenders, and that is top lane. And if Leo has a bit more luck to push in, there could even be more... Sonya does not have a good day today. Like, she seems to have a little bit of a death wish, committing Sudoku over and over again here, and gets just caught all over the place. The blue team is literally hunting. They're just hunting Sonya down. And that opens another opportunity at the bottom of the map. They're taking walls whenever they can. And, well, there's another one. Leo, of course, has to deal with the top lane push. No problem for him. Sizzling attacks now on level 16 for Tychus. And that's a good thing for the Firebenders. Even with all the kills against them now and them losing structure after structure, we have them on even talents with the Waterbenders. They're level behind, but it's really the talent here that matters. So that's going to be the big one. They are also working on the fort a bit more, but it's not really necessary to drop it right now. Fountain is already gone. That's half the battle. So now they just need to focus on the objective itself. Hanzo completing his quest. Ophia, by the way, is just a bit shy of completing her level 7. And let's see who gets this one. This is going to be an important one. Another flip. Sonya! Oh, and another honorable death. Sonya goes down. solves another math puzzle in the middle of the fight. And there's the Riptire. Straight to the face, baby. Yeah, the flip forward as Orphea is trying to go for another kill. But that's a double kill already. And what a perfect opportunity to claim another objective. Carbon is rushing towards the top. He's just like, yeah, fuck this. I'm out of here. And they're creating tons and tons of space for Leo to just do his thing. Yeah, and let's take another quick look at that fight. I mean, that's the Sonya kill. That was the first one. And look at that Entomb. The Entomb already fantastic. Locking them down a little bit further. Isolating the team. The Riptire comes in from the side. They were hoping to follow up with more kills. But yeah, they literally just drove a wedge with the Entomb between the parts of the opponent's setup. And Mei got completely isolated because of it. And they could get the kill in. We were hoping for more, but the 2 kills were already all they needed to take the lead, take the momentum. And they're calling the shots now. 6 kills against 4, more than a level ahead. Here comes the Tomb attempt. Doesn't quite hit, but it isolates Lucio. And the Punisher comes in, and it is John Cena, baby. He jumps in, he gets the kill. The arrow, oh, beautiful arrow. Straight through 5 heroes, doesn't hit anything but air. That was a trick shot. And, well, it adds insult to injury over here. So now that we have the mid lane completely exposed, that wall is open, that Punisher is hungry for action. Darkmok moves out. Do they poke around to get the keep? Yeah, they're waiting for the next minion wave, I'd say. But they might not even get it. There's a nice move on Sonya again, but it seems Funz is a little bit tired of dying here. He died 4 times as is. And, well, the Waterbenders, they're looking at a 1.5 level advantage, and they're like, why would we go for the keep? Do we need that keep? Or do we just go back, take all the camps, get the experience, hit 20, and then play around the Storm talent advantage? That's exactly what they do right now. So we got the camps already taken. You can see that they're just getting farther and farther towards level, farther and farther away from the Firebenders, closer to their 20. And now they're... Funz is already sitting there. It's like, something smells fishy, and it's not murky. So, yeah, he's immediately starting to rush away here. Darkmok! The Entomb hits! They really... I would be so pissed if I'm Sonya. Oh, Sonya must be so annoyed at this point. I mean, he already saw it more or less coming and moved back, and they really just dove behind the fort. No fucks given, going for the kill. Oh, wow. Yeah, Sonya must be a little bit frustrated over here. Now, we got the level 20 talents as mentioned, and that, of course, is Buried Alive. Big game changer, no matter what setup you go for. We got the Inner Rage now, too, by the way. So, a bit of a different approach here from Garrosh as well, as they are pushing through the top to break the wall. And they can afford to do all of this because they have the extra talent. And it's a big one. It's not only that, they have a 5 versus 4 too, so makes matters even worse for them. But yeah, this is a bit nasty. Now, the next objective is also spawning topside. That doesn't really make the job of the Firebenders any easier. And they have to be really careful. Because if anyone gets now locked down by Leo, most likely dead. So they need to stay back. And that's exactly why they're staying so passive. All they gotta do is try and save that keep. It's the only thing that they really can do. So that's what they're currently attempting. But here comes the next lock-in on the camp. So that's also stolen away, of course. But there's still more than half a level that the Firebenders need to hit their 20. And of course, Sonya is back. But if she just pokes her head out up at the front, she's gonna die again. That Entomb can pop out of nowhere. And if you get buried alive, then you just have no hope with that setup that they're using against them. And they really want that keep. If they don't take the keep completely, then every single damage point still matters as long as you can go for the objective. Honestly, staying for the keep doesn't really do anything for you if you give up the objective in order to get it. Which they don't. No. Yeah, nice move. If Funz would have moved up to the top and walked into the 3-man, I think that would have been a rage quit right there. God, that would have been insane. Yeah, that would have been absolutely incredible. So now we got the level 20 on both sides. That's the flash freeze. And just take note of the fact that the Waterbenders have now in a situation where they have to fight an even battle. Instead of falling back a little bit quicker, they were trying to go for a kill against Sonya again. That didn't quite work. But now they're in a situation where it's a little bit dicey. The wall, 0 value in this game, up to this point at least, to be honest with you. So there's the poke again. Big red button, of course, for Tychus, as they're now moving in for this. Yeah, here comes Azurite. And Orpheus trying to get some damage. So far, so good. Lulcio is coming through too. Big attempt at an arrow follow-up, but that didn't work out. And 2 missed as well, but it's still isolated Sonya, at least to an extent. Here's the flip, there's the stun, and Sonya is dead again. And they're trying to follow it up with another kill against Tremor. But Mei gets out, Winterheart jumps out, and they are in so much trouble right now. 5 versus 4, even points on the objective. In comes Orphea. Coffin Girl wants another couple of kills, and she gets one against Hanzo. Tries to follow it up with number 2 and gets this on as well. Yeah, that's the end of Tychus. Easy peasy double kill. And of course, they're trying to slow them down right now as all of this happens, since the blue team is already on the way to keep and core. Yeah, they're trying to take the keep down, no problem. Junkrat has taken the top control. It's actually kind of funny that Mei is now trying to move in and take Junkrat down. Good luck with that. Punisher wants a piece of the action. But with Caesar Salad moving in, they might even get the kill here against Macke. Gets frozen by the wall mid-jump. You know nothing, Jon Snow. So, that's the end of Mei, and that Punisher is already on the way. Completely unimpressed here. Starting to move in. What a game. What a series, honestly. 62,000 damage from Hanzo, 6 deaths on Sonya, 71,000 damage for Orphea. And, well, neither Junkrat nor Leo have died in this game. Sonya's just going in again. Fuck it. Commit Sudoku once more. Honorable death for her. 7 deaths for her now. And yeah, not able to hit the double digits in this one, but this is obviously going to be the end of the road for them. Another flip, another kill. They're just blowing Tychus away. At least there's a counter kill as the Renegade takes down Garrosh, but the core falls too, and that's a 2-1 victory for the Waterbenders. Nicely done, GG and well played, as the blue team locks in the win.